So a potential war in Gaza is now again looming over our heads, and returning to the studio with his insights on the subject is Dr. Martin Sherman, the founder and executive director of the Israel Institute of Strategic Studies. Dr. Sherman, thanks again for joining with us.
Thank you for having me back.
All right, so first of all, what should the goal be? Where should Israel's aim, or eye line be set at right now?
Well, as I said before, the problem in Gaza is not operational, it's conceptual. Or rather, it's operational because it's conceptual. The question is where you see this process going. And if you visualize that there will always be a permanent Arab presence in Gaza, then you're in an impasse. Because there will, as I've said before many times, there will either be Jews in the Negev or Arabs in Gaza, but in the long run, there won't be both. And you can see what's been going on. Life has become impossible for people around the Gaza Strip on the Israeli side for 6 months. And, every time the Arabs develop a mode of attack, Israel develops a mode of defense. So there were terrorist attacks, so we put up a fence. And then they developed overhead rockets, so we developed the Iron Dome. And then they started digging tunnels, so we've now put $1 billion barrier to cut off their tunnels. And now they're flying over the barrier incendiary balloons and kites, and it's only a matter of time until they use...
we're using drones and all sorts of
drones,
things.
And my greatest fear is that on those drones are going to carry non-conventional warheads, some chemical or biological package that will explode over a Jewish community. And, things have got so bad. If anyone had said that what we have today is what we will have, what we would have had in 2005, you would have been dismissed as a scaremonger and a warmonger, because then the most threatening weapon they had was a short-range rocket with a range of 5 kilometers and an explosive head of half a kilogram. Now you have 100 kilograms and 100-kilometer range, together with naval capacities and tunnels, etc., etc. And the question is how you look at the people in Gaza. If you see the Gazans as a prospective peace partner, or the way you really should see them as an implacable enemy, and derive your policy from that.
But again, okay, but let's kind of get down into the details of such a, because you're talking again in the conceptual and the theoretical. So now let's take that into the applicable, into the objective and the operational. We're talking about 2 million people, roughly, give or take, in Gaza. Maybe a tenth of that, probably less, is actually operating terrorist attacks and things like that. We're talking mostly Hamas and their affiliates and other small organizations in the Strip. So if Israel were to launch an operation, say even at the end of the week in Gaza, what should the goal be? Because it's unrealistic to envision that Israel is just going to kick out 2 million people in a few days.
First of all, I think the long-term goal of Gaza must be deconstruction and not reconstruction of Gaza. And
so should any future operation, near or far, be focused on usurping Hamas?
Well, not as
or going further.
The only way Israel can control who rules Gaza is by controlling it itself. And we've seen that. We withdrew from Gaza in 2005, handed the control over to the Fatah, and it was taken away by Hamas. And you must realize now that Gaza abuts the Sinai Peninsula, which is a jihadi no-man land. The Egyptians are having great difficulty in imposing law and order there. So if you weaken Hamas, there's no guarantee that what will come after Hamas will be better or worse. Or it might well be much worse. And the only solution is, and I've seen more and more Israeli pundits beginning to understand this. The only solution is to take over Gaza and start a program of incentivized immigration. Some people have talking about convincing Sisi to open up the passage into Sinai with American support.
But that's unlikely.
What's unlikely is finding some solution if we carry on doing the same and the same.
All right. Well, Dr. Sherman, thank you. Thanks for coming back in.
Thank you.